If you missed our UC application workshop or you just want a quick review, please go ahead and listen to the following video for a quick abridged version of the workshop with tools, tips, and resources. Now before we begin, you should have a copy either printed or downloaded on your computer of the 2017-2018 Tips and Toolkit from the UC Admissions. If you don't have access to that, you can download it on our BHHS College Center website on the downloadable guides and materials link. So let's go ahead and dive in. Before you apply to the UC campuses, it's incredibly important that you research your options. There are 9 undergraduate college UC colleges, and it's really important that you go through each one and just kind of get a sense. They have a little bit of a different personality depending on where they're located, the majors that are offered, the different colleges. For example, within San Diego, they have 6 colleges within the university. So your core general education, your learning communities might be slightly different, and they ask you to rank those 6 colleges in order of preference. So this is research that you should definitely do ahead of time. What's really helpful is at the University of California on their admissions website, they have a very simple, simply structured navigation page where you can go through each of the campuses. You can take a look at the different programs, colleges, different highlights. If you click on freshman admission profile, what it does is it gives you the most recent admission rate for that college, how many applicants, and it also gives you some important data points on your GPA and test scores. Please note that this GPA is the UC GPA, and they take a look at your 10th and 11th grade weighted A through G GPA. Please also note that you can have access to our A through G course list and what Beverly Hills High School considers an A through G course and what UC denotes as an honors course. If you Google UC Doorways and look up Beverly Hills High School, you can find our UC A through G list. So I highly recommend that you click and go through. If you go on the right hand side, you can click and it will take you directly to their website. I always encourage students to go directly to the majors page just to get a sense of what they kind of look like, because sometimes majors might seem a little bit differently than we initially had thought in our head. So once you go ahead and click on it, it dives you deeper into the page. You can go through and see what are the course descriptions of this major. And when you do that, you really get a sense of what it means to go in through the mechanical engineering course or major, for example, and you can look up different things. So it's incredibly helpful to see what specifically this campus has to offer, and I highly, highly recommend that you guys take advantage of this page while researching your UC campuses. Now remember, when you apply to the UC application, it is one online application. It is one application. You are able to click multiple campuses and send the same application to each of those campuses. So when you're writing your personal statement and additional comments, it's good to be mindful that your application is going to all of the different campuses, so try not to tailor it to just one campus. And make sure you really get to know the majors. When you apply, you'll be able to choose a major and an alternate major as well. And you also have the option for undeclared if you truly don't know what you want to study, which is perfectly okay. Here are the 9 UC campuses, just a little picture for you to get a sense of where they are. Again, use things like Google Maps to zoom out, take a look at each of the different campuses, log on to the UC Admissions website, and really get to know a university past what you possibly might initially think. So the personal insight questions, we're going to head back to this, but go ahead and grab that worksheet that I talked about earlier, or pull that up on your screen, and go ahead and turn to the checklist, review that briefly, and then flip to the activities and awards worksheet. Now remember, when filling out the activities and awards worksheet, an activity is anything that you have a committed responsibility to. So let's say, for example, it's your job to get your brother ready to school every single day, or you babysit for your family every single day, or there's something at the home that you're really responsible for. That could theoretically be an extracurricular activity. An activity could be a sport, a club, a volunteer opportunity, or even something beyond the classroom that you're in. For example, if you're a student in theater or robotics and your activities and your responsibilities extend beyond the school hours through the weekends, go ahead and put that as an extracurricular activity as well as reporting it as a class on your high school coursework worksheet. It's incredibly important that you take advantage and try to use the space that you have to describe the impact that you had within that role. Avoid stating the obvious. So, for example, if you're a basketball player and then you put that you're a captain and that's all you put, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you're a basketball player and you're a captain, what specific activities or responsibilities as a captain do you have? Go ahead and make sure that you write those out. Be cautious of acronyms. College admissions representatives who are reading your applications may not understand what you're talking about. So don't go ahead and put acronyms that you think everyone will know, because that's just not the case. Always think about your impact within the activity and your leadership role within the activity. Please keep in mind that you don't always have to be a captain or a president of a club to hold a leadership position. So go ahead and fill out the activities and award section. This is something that you can do on that downloadable guide. Keep in mind that the UC application doesn't open until August 1st, so make sure that you're not on the UC application right now filling it out. Make sure that you're filling this out on that tools and tips worksheet, and you can copy and paste it later. Let's go ahead and dive into the UC Personal Insight questions. So you do have 8 questions to choose from, and you can only respond to 4 of them. It doesn't matter which 4, but they are short. You have a maximum of 350 words. So it's really important that you go through and take a look at those questions and think, what is something that I can put in, or I can answer in those questions that is different than my application, that speaks to me as a person, and lets the reader know something more personal or intimate about me. You can even ask your friends and your family, what is something that someone has to know about me that's just beyond the classes and everything else that I do? Here are the 8 questions. There's also a UC brainstorming worksheet that I'm going to attach in this email as well that you could go through. What I would do is go through each question, try to brainstorm a couple sentences so you can take a look at all 8 and then highlight the ones that seem to be the ones that are standing out more. UC admissions essay tips, and again, these slides, this information is pulled directly from the UC website, so go ahead and start early. The essay and the activities and extracurricular section, I believe, are 2 sections of the applications that students really don't take enough time to go through. Your grades, your test scores, they might be set and you might be not have control over going back and changing those, but you do have control of presenting the type of person you are and your accomplishments and how you're resilient and how your goals and your challenges that you've overcome or whatever it may be, you have the opportunity to explain that to UC admissions. So take the time and don't waste that space. It can make the difference between you and another applicant with a similar academic profile getting an admission decision. Make sure you talk about yourself, use I statements, it's really helpful, proofread and edit. Get some feedback from someone who can read through it, but I do caution students to not have too many readers review your essay. Sometimes if you have more than 3, 4, everyone's looking at your essay, everyone has an opinion, you can start to second guess yourself. The essay starts to become really choppy. So really go to two trusted advisors, your counselor, maybe a teacher or someone that you're working with so that you feel confident and comfortable with their feedback and you can have someone who can offer some advice. Make sure, relax. I love that the UC put this one, and I think it's so important. Sometimes when we rush through our applications, we feel overwhelmed and anxious. We kind of don't present the best version of ourselves within that. So make sure that you set aside time to apply, but then also set aside time to stop thinking about your applications and do something else. There is an additional comment section within the application. This is a section if you had anything in your application that you wanted to share and there wasn't a space for it. For example, students can use this mostly if there is a dip in grades, or let's say there was something personal going on, or something health related, or something that you wanted to explain that you couldn't otherwise. Maybe it was a core program that you wanted to join, but there was a scheduling issue and you weren't able to join that program. Or maybe it was the fact that you got mono and you were out of school and half of your grades dipped for a semester, but you were able to pull them up. Just be sure to be very direct about what you're talking about. It cannot be used as an extension of an essay, and it cannot be used just to say, talk about how we've slacked off for a little bit, but now we're doing better. It truly has to be something that's an important detail. It could even be something health related, but please do be aware that it is up to you as the student to disclose any health information you see. College applications don't have the right to ask that. So if you feel that it's something that you feel comfortable and you want to disclose to the colleges, and it gives some context to your grades and your learning experience, go ahead and do that. And if you're looking for guidance, please speak to your counselor. So common mistakes, again, you are applying to all UC applications, so make sure that your application is presentable and doesn't go specifically towards one campus. Poems, cliches, things like that, you really don't have a lot of space, so be very direct about the person you are. Stick to facts, and talk about yourself. Don't take 70% of your personal insight question to talk about the story or set up the situation, and then leave 30% to actually talk about yourself. Make sure that a good portion of your essay truly is talking about yourself, your accomplishments, how you were resilient, how you've overcome challenges, whatever it may be. Moving forward, make sure that you continue to review and revise your insight questions. Again, have someone proofread, but be cautious of how many people. Go ahead and keep an unofficial copy of your transcript. You can print this out in parchment. Under the College Center, you can click on the parchment link. You don't need a registration code, very simple to sign up, and you can print an unofficial copy of your transcript. Makes it very easy to plug in your grades and your courses throughout your application, and keep a printed copy of your test scores if you have them. The UC application opens on August 1st, 2017. You can create an account then and then copy and paste. So again, do not create an account prior to that because you will lose your work. But you can start on these essays and your activities and awards, keep a copy of your transcript, and start exploring those UC campuses so you can take advantage when the application does open. Make sure that you apply to a balanced list of colleges. When you take a look at how selective a campus is, what the academic profile is, make sure that you also add some schools that you're comfortable and you know you'll get into, but schools that you actually will attend given the opportunity. Okay, so make sure you do your research there. That is it for the UC application quick tips. Make sure that you go to the Beverly Hills High School website, download some helpful tools. We will have UC application workshops throughout the end of summer and throughout the fall semester of this school year, as well as essay one-on-one review, so make sure that you check out all of those as well. One last tidbit, UC Santa Barbara has webinars on the personal insight question and the application, so if you Google UCSB application webinars, that'll take you right there. Get some tips directly from the UC admissions, and again, explore some colleges, private, out-of-state, take advantage. This is your summer, and also give yourself a little bit of a break. Thank you.